Hey everyone, Tween Swag here, and I know it's been a long time. It's been several weeks. I've been in transition right now out of one full-time job to my business, and so I basically have been working two full-time jobs for the last 8 weeks or so. It's been busy. It's been amazing, actually. It's been really good, but I just haven't been able to do any of this content just because it's obviously not as important as what I have going on. Not that this isn't important, but basically what me and my friends always say: IRL prio. In real life priority. You gotta do what's in front of you first, the most important things first. But today I want to do something different. I was just in the last hour, I just had some time to just go over some old Battlefield 2 Modern Combat forum posts from the Ask EA or Answers.ea forums, not the Battlefield forums, but the EA forum specifically. And just reading old posts from 2013, 2014, and just realizing that the same sentiment that still exists today from the shutdown is still very, very much alive. And our Discord this week just hit 100 people, which is awesome. And we were just active and having some conversations. And so it just got me thinking that I wanted to do this video for you guys. And this is unscripted. I don't even have an outline. And so I'm probably not even going to say some things. I'm going to go back later and say, oh, I wish I said that. But the reason for making this video is to express this thought that the time is right for EA to make some decisions that don't quantify into communicating to their shareholders, and to make some decisions that simply build rapport for their communities. As a business owner myself, I know that you can make decisions basically just at the bottom line, nickel and dime every decision, or you can make decisions that are just simply for the satisfaction of your customer, or for the sake of just the well-being of your customer. It's not just about making money. It is also about doing what you love and loving what you do. Now, as a production company, which EA is, they are not the developing studios of the company. They own the developing studios. And so they are not nearly as emotionally attached to these games as the developing studios are, and as we are as the super fans of a game. So it's a lot easier for them to make these decisions based on the bottom line, the nickel and dime, and what is going to quantify to shareholders at the end of the quarter, end of the year, end of the fiscal year when you're making these reports and things like that. Now, EA is primarily motivated on making these decisions based on the bottom line at the end of the year. What looks good to shareholders? How much money did we make? And so going forward in our communications that we've had with EA forum mods and people who have been at some point representing EA in conversations with us in the Discord group, they have effectively communicated a few things to us. One, they are not currently interested in handing over any files that would allow the community to revive the game, as it is their intellectual property, and they don't want to create a precedent of handing over their intellectual property to the community, as in the future, basically gamers would be expecting that. And I can understand not just wanting to give over your intellectual property. And on one hand, you say, well, it's a game that was made in 2004, not 20 something, 2004. It's an old game. What's the harm in doing that? Well, I'll play the devil's advocate here, EA's advocate here, as someone who is responsible for holding their own intellectual property. You don't want to create that precedent. You don't. One action can trickle into the expectations of your business. And that is a potentially dangerous thing to do if people expect that after the cycle of a game gets to the point where it's no longer financially viable according to what they call financially viable, or it's just simply not making them more money, therefore kill it. The precedent now would be, okay, well, now you're going to give it to us. And that, if you look at Blizzard and the way that they handled private servers, and now with World of Warcraft Classic coming back and the hordes, haha, pun, of people coming back to play that game, it is quite apparent that people, boomers like me, want to play these old games. Look at RuneScape Classic. The RuneScape population exploded when they really brought that back, and now that's making money. So yes, you can make money off of these old games. How you would do that is up to your business model. I'm just saying I would buy Battlefield 2 Modern Combat at any reasonable price all over again if I knew that I could play that online again. I know it's not something that is... How do you say this? It's not something that the gamer wants to do. You bought the game, you own the game, and therefore you feel like you should have the ability to play the game in the state of the game that you purchased it. But I'm just saying, for me, yes, it even establishes a precedent as a consumer that you don't want. But I would buy the game again if it meant I could play it online. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat is now reverse compatible for the 360, and the online is still not available. So I know it was a bit of a ramble, but no, EA does not want to just hand over their intellectual property because it creates a precedent for the future. So that's the first thing. The second thing that they don't want to do is burn resources to get an old game back online. Now, we have seen many games get remastered. Well, I shouldn't say many. We've seen some games get remastered, and we've seen many games be reported. 1943, Battlefield 1943 is alive, and I wouldn't say well, but you can get lobbies. You can play the game. I guess you could say the state of the game as well. There are hardcore gamers that are super fans of 1943, and it's back online, and I went back and I played it, and I was achievement hunting for all the different kills for the different kits and stuff. It's a very fun game. And that's testament to what I'd love to discuss in another video, is that no, we don't need new content. We need good content. 1943 had a couple of guns, a couple of classes, 2 game modes, and 3 maps. That's right, 3 maps. And I could play that all day long. I don't need skins and maps and DLC and live service, whatever you want to call it. I don't need that. What I need is good content. I don't need anything. That's what I want. Let me phrase that correctly here. That's what I want. As a consumer, what I need in order for me to say I can purchase the game is an experience that's worth the money. I will not purchase a game if it's not worth the money. And right now, I would say, just looking right now, I can see my gaming collection. Every single game that's on my shelf is worth the money that either I spent on it or the person spent that was gifted to me. There are a lot of games out there that big companies are trying to push to keep afloat, to keep financially viable, that I don't think is worth my time, so I'm not going to buy them. I know I was going to go into the second thing here. I apologize, this video is a bit of a ramble. If you're even at this point in the video, I appreciate you stumbling through my words. I promise I'll keep it on topic as much as possible here going forward. The second thing EA doesn't want to do is burn those resources, right? So they are at a point right now where they are under a lot of pressure from a lot of different areas to keep games afloat. Look at a game like Anthem and just the disaster that was. And man, what a bummer. I really wanted to play Anthem. That looked like an amazing game, did it not? Like, the trailer looked amazing, and we're used to EA trailers, but it looked amazing. The idea of that open world feel, flying around in a Iron Man suit and exploring, it looked incredible. What a bummer. What a bummer. What a waste of a potentially incredible game. Yeah, that's just such a bummer. You look at Apex, and I just think that the battle royale genre needs reset, or needs to just basically deflate, go away, and just decide what it wants to be, because this live service, the same cookie cut stuff. It's the same game. Fortnite is the same game as Apex, is the same game as Fortnite, is the same game as all these battle royales. The only difference is the game mechanics. Like, it's the exact same game. It's incredible that you can put out so many battle royales, and just the market is just saturated with them. And Apex is a free game, therefore it's completely dependent on how many microtransactions people are buying. And EA is under a huge amount of pressure to make sure that they are making the game a direct avenue for microtransactions, which, let's talk about the gaming climate in 2019 in another video. But no, I'm not buying skins. That's not happening. I want to buy a game. I don't want to buy skins. If it's a game that's free and I want to support it, yeah, I'll throw you some money. I'm not going to buy skins. That's just not on my agenda. So these resources that EA would have to burn, whether that's developers or whoever that is, to allocate to these projects of reviving old games, they don't see that as financially viable. They don't see that as something that is going to directly impact them financially. So here's the main point that I want to get to in this video, and that is right now, EA is in a position where they can say, you know what? We've made some blunders. We've made some bad decisions, and now we're going to make some decisions that don't directly give us money, that don't directly tie into the quarterlies, but they're going to build the rapport of this company. That is what EA needs to do. And one of those decisions would be to say, where are these microcosmic communities of hardcore gamers who bought our game, that love our game, that want to play our game? Let's get those games back up. There are a host of games that EA is responsible for right now that is basically a spiraling downward disaster. And they want to fix those games or abandon them. That's all you can do. You can't just hope to keep something aloft by throwing minimal effort at it and putting your head in the sand. And I truly believe that there are many people within the construction of EA who genuinely love these games and want to see them thrive. So if you believe that your best option is to fix these games that EA is responsible for, then I understand that that is a hard thing to allocate staff to bring back old games. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does make perfect sense when you talk about building the rapport of your client base, of your clientele. If you as a company have good relationships with your consumers, with your customers, like-minded consumers will refer like-minded consumers. That is just kind of a principle in the kind of business that I do. And I will say this, between me and my friends, I'd say there's about a group of 15 people, IRL buddies, that we game with on either a consistent basis or on a somewhat regular basis. And that's 15 people right there. That's 15 potential purchases of your video game. If one of us catches wind that a game is not worth buying, I'm telling you, none of us are getting it, because we're all very headstrong in that. We're all looking out for each other's back. We don't want someone to waste money and waste time on a game that's either a money seek or is just flat out not fun. Occasionally one of us will say, hey, you know what, I actually bought that game and I found it, here are some redeeming qualities of it. We don't all like talk like that, but that's essentially, what we come to. Like, hey, I actually played this and the Battle Royale mode is actually really fun. Or, hey, I got this and it's actually not a huge money grab. So there are a couple of us that are playing on Battlefield 5. I play it occasionally. I didn't really like it. I thought Squad Conquest was fun. Did a nice, what was it, 20 straight wins or something. I think it was like 25. I have a video on it. Probably should know my own video content. That's not like a huge plug or anything. I'm just recalling. They put out the Pacific recently. That was fun. I think it's fun. I'm really excited to see Wake Island and what they did with that. And I'm only playing Battlefield 5 on the fact that a couple of people in my group said, hey, you know what? You should actually pick it up. So that's just testimony to the it's testament to the fact that if one person actually buys the game and thinks it's redeemable, then anyone in their group of friends might go out and buy that game. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful in this business, and that is something that they need to recognize. They can dump money into advertisement, and they can dump whatever resources they want into try and create the image of a game. But look at what happened with Battlefield 5 and its image. Look at what happened to Anthem and its image. And all these other games that are going down right now, the image that they have, it can happen overnight with the Battlefield 5 reveal. It was overnight by the word of mouth of people. And the time is just right for EA to make some decisions that don't directly impact them financially, but build the relationship with their consumers. As someone who has been playing video games. I owned my first console at the age of 8 or something like that. We had our first Nintendo 64 when I was 4 years old, and I was, bugging my older brother for the controller whenever I could. I've been playing video games for the vast majority of my life now, going on over 20 years worth, and just having evolved from the N64 cartridge to the digital download era of the modern console, I've just seen the evolution of multiple gaming companies, and I believe that EA is at a critical moment. And there are other companies right now that are at the same juncture. Activision, Blizzard, they're in a similar juncture where they needed to decide, are they going to make decisions based on the consumer or on the nickel and dime? So I'll just wrap this up now. I know this is a little bit different than what I normally do, and it's a little bit long. But here's what I would love to see. I would love to see EA, as they are occasionally active on the forums, create a dialogue with us. I would love to see that dialogue established with gamers who want to see these old titles come back online. We have seen Halo 2 be reborn through the Master Chief Collection. That was massive. I think the Master Chief Collection has its issues, but it's been a good thing. It's been a very good thing. We have seen private servers and private projects for other games crop up, and some of them get killed for cease and desist. Some of them remain. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat is in a very unique situation in that it's not official. It's somewhat of a pretty known fact. The files for getting those servers back online have either been destroyed or lost. Basically, like the Sword of a Thousand Truths, just like on a USB, it's just gone. So this might not even be a thing that's entirely possible. That's not a confirmed fact, but it's a readily assumed fact, at least among our community and on our Discord. So that is why we're doing our remake project. And so if EA would, within their power, allow this project to grow as a community-based thing and not a violation of their intellectual property ownership, I think that would be a huge boost to our view of them. And like I said, I and my group of 15 people, our group of friends, that is, one person has an impact on 14 other people, 100 of us in this Discord, and I think that we all have anywhere between 10 to 20 people in our immediate group of gaming. That's well over 1,000 people in our influence, 1,000 to 2,000 people, and so on and so on and so on. And you have one small group of people have a different view of the company that can make a huge impact. You do that on a large scale. You just start making decisions that are good for your consumer. That translates into larger dividends at the end of the year. So I think the time is right for EA to open up a dialogue with us. I think the time is right for EA to make some decisions that are good for the consumer and not just good for the quarterlies. And at the end of the year, I truly believe that you will have better looking figures because you have consumers who are more ready to purchase your content. So hopefully this was more succinct than the ramble that I think it was. If you guys want to join our Battlefield 2 Modern Combat Discord, you guys can join the link below in the information and in the comments of this video. And if you want to hear more about our community project to rebuild Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, jump in the Discord, and they will also link up in the corner right here the page where you can go to do updates on that project. I am late to getting, like super late. There are 2 more updates that I want to watch with you guys, and like I said, I just basically have been completely unavailable to do any side project stuff for about 2 months. So going forward, I'll get some of those up. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, you're a lad, and I appreciate you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.